Usually, yeah.
I'll call the meeting to order. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for attending in person and online. First item on the agenda is the approval of two sets of minutes, the regular meeting from January 5th. Move to approve. We have a second.
I'll second it.
We have a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign. The special minutes from last Friday's special meeting, January 15th. Oh, did we? Okay. Perfect, thank you. Approval of the agenda. Any items of addition for the agenda? Second. Seconded to approve the agenda as printed. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Kevin, you're up.
All right. Just a heads up more than anything, that additional 2 years of warranty on a camera surveillance system was an extra $651.65. So I told him to go ahead with that also. Any questions or comments about that?
Just one question I had, I think I wrote underneath my sign, do they put signs up too that this is?
Yes, we just got them, we ordered the signs before, but we just got them like last week.
Oh, okay. Telephone don't do that?
I don't know, I never asked, but we ordered them a couple weeks ago.
Good idea.
Yeah. We never ordered 4, so we can spread them around.
Just curious, what are they stealing?
Well, the first time around, well, actually the first time they cut the lock on the van for that COVID trailer that they used for.
Negligent disregard, they cut the padlock off. Luckily, we didn't have a whole lot in there, but masks and gowns and stuff like that for COVID testing. They didn't seem to bother it. It looked like they might have taken a case of N95 masks. I don't know if they were selling them on the corner or what.
And about 2 weeks after that, we lost batteries out of one of our trucks. They cut the cables, took 2 batteries. Truck batteries are not like they fit in a pickup or anything. So. But now, the next item, the last one we lost was a pickup. We had accidentally left the keys in it. We were checking the mileage on it and we left the keys in it. And the only thing, how it got out the gate was there was a search and rescue call on Saturday. Thursday or Friday, we checked the mileage. I guess it might have been Thursday, but anyway, on Saturday there was a search and rescue call, and that's the only time we could figure it got out the gate. It was a 1995 Ford F-150, which is beside the point. But now I talked to one of the deputies the other day, and he thinks maybe it's out on the res, but of course we got to go through that to get it back and actually prove it and all that. So we haven't gotten back yet.
We didn't have any vaccinations in that.
Oh, no, they're way too expensive to be keeping it. Yeah, no. They either have to be in the freezer or the refrigerator, no.
So was this second turn is there insurance or anything?
Not yet, we're still trying to see if we can get it back. We contacted the insurance
What
company.
color is it? White?
White with a long box and regular two-door cab, no extended cab or nothing. Two-wheel drive, oh, it's just a
Ford?
Ford.
Two-wheel drive.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Keep an eye on
It's got county plates on it.
Keep your eyes peeled, Kelly.
it. Well, I'm sure they're gone.
They're gone.
I'll ask around down
Good. That was one of the pickup, there was a pickup that Roger used to haul stuff around, so it had the long box, no fuel tanks, no toolboxes or nothing. It was good for hauling stuff. I mean, we used it for that kind of stuff.
What kind of value did the insurance put on that?
Yes, I think you know, it's 95 miles. I don't know, I suppose $1,000, I don't know.
1,000 or less, I'm sure, yeah. Why do that? Hopefully the cameras start to prevent some of this, or,
Right.
you know,
I decided to help.
yeah, signs will help.
They actually cut another hole in our fence. It wasn't as bad as the first hole, but they were caught underneath. You could see where they drove up on a four-wheeler and either let a person off or something crawled under the fence.
So when do they plan on having the cameras?
I haven't heard. I ordered them right after the meeting, 2 weeks ago.
Got some electric fencers on the shop.
You know, there's that.
You know, we're half tempted not to put the signs up, just the cameras for a month to see if we can catch the individuals. You know?
Yeah.
The railroad's got that chain link fence 150 feet beyond ours, and now there's a hole in that too, so. I told the city about that. I don't know who's fencing it, the railroad or the city, but I let the city know there's a hole in it.
Where did they get that wire cut?
Imagine a boat cutter.
It's just too bad that we gotta have stuff like that happen in town. Is there any more questions on that? Yeah, one more thing, we have the contractor task order from KLJ for the design work on Ramsey County 3A, but we're gonna be overlaying in 2 years, so this summer they'll be doing the design work to get it ready for bid. And that total, the amount for that contractor task order is $20,583.60. And I just need a motion for the chairman to sign that. So,
Second.
Motion is second for chairman to sign the task order for the highway project on Ramsey 3. Any other discussion?
looks like a really good fair price to me, so.
If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
I
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
That's all I have.
We need final evidence for the.
So we got one more small payment to make for that. It won't be much.
Lower monthly. So.
That's-
Anything else for Kevin? Kevin, thank you. Next item on our agenda is the COVID-19 discussion. Month number 10. A lot of, one of the things that continues to come up is access to the building. We want to open the building up for public access. Right now it's by appointment. and remind people that it is by appointment until we tell them further. I guess there's a lot of people that come to the front door and knock. The breezeway has been open and it's warm. They can call the department that they're here to visit and access the building that way. The other thing is when we do open up the building, it's been asked, are we going to supply PPE for all our departments? Which I guess probably would be the prudent thing to do if we're going to ask them to wear it and the public to do so as when they're in the building. But I guess I would open up that for discussion. It would be mask, hand sanitizer. I don't know if we need nitrate gloves, different things like that. Rhonda, you have some staff that have to attend or leave the building for meeting people in their homes on occasion, and need to be properly masked up for that. And so it's been discussed or asked about whether or not the county would continue paying for that personal protective equipment, keep our employees and the public safe within our buildings, or if that would come out of the department's own line item budgets.
We received the CARES Act dollars back and just roll back to the general fund, and there's plenty of money there. I don't know why we wouldn't just continue to pay for any kind of PPE that anybody in the building needs, whether it's somebody coming in or whatnot, through that. I mean, I would assume, I don't know how it's going to look going forward, but I don't know all the intricacies of the bill that was passed in December, but if there's any kind of reimbursement or anything like that either, I guess. And I think there's going to be a push for possibly another bill that might do something like that too. So there's the options, but up till then, I think it's no brainer. We're going to pay for it. So it's just a matter where the dollars come from. If we got the CARES Act dollars, let's spend it. That's what they're there for. That's what they give it to us for.
That's what they gave you. Rhonda, how many masks you use a month? Roughly. How many you did?
We actually, part of the masks that I'm asking for are for the citizens that we go out to, because we come into their homes, do an assessment, and we would ask them to put on a mask, and we would bring masks. So, I don't know, Crystal and I talked about that.
200, 500?
I would think 500 to start, and then hand sanitizer. That would probably work. We also transport people. We transport people that have appointments in Bismarck, Redports, adults that don't have any other transportation. We do that through general assistance. A lot of times we have to supply them with a mask. I did get masks early on from the HON website, and I found out that actually that was not, and I can't remember which one it is. I should have used those masks for the public, but not for staff. Staff would purchase, or vice versa. I don't know if anyone knows the answer to that, but it was one or the other. I found out that I probably wasn't supposed to be using them. Most of the staff bring cloth masks to wear, but it is for, and we have people that come. During the time that we were open, we had many people that came into our office that walked right by the masks and the sign that said, "Go and can't the auditor's office to get a mask," and they come to our office. But we're out of the HON website masks that we ordered early on.
You're out of them.
Yeah, very few left, maybe a couple boxes.
Are masks available? I mean, you could get them from a wholesaler or whatever. Kind of like Adam said, we should use that money. No brainer.
What, 100 or what was the dollar figure again? Multiple, 300 and some $1,000 worth of CARES Act dollars to buy something. Yeah. So I think we can come up with a few bucks masks. Yeah, and if the CARES Act dollars are sitting in the general fund, whatever department, whether it's social services or public health, or whomever it is, I mean, they're working out of Ramsey County. Submit the bill, I think, why not?
Can I add to that, that I think that one person should be in charge of ordering
I think that's reasonable, so that we
and
don't
me,
have four
and me
people
paying
buying.
the bill,
I think that's fair.
so that we don't have every single office ordering and every.
And it's the same product for everyone.
Yes.
I think that's reasonable.
You wanna order?
Chris isn't here, so I'll have Chris
Yeah, I
order.
was saying, let's
Yeah.
put Chris in charge, make sure this.
Okay, that's what they.
Email what you need to him and he can order it, and you pay for it.
Yeah.
Sounds fair to me.
Excuse me, I didn't realize Chris.
No, we're just gonna make him order.
Do we wanna put that in a form of a motion tonight, or we wanna?
Yeah, I guess I'll make the
Are we gonna
motion
put a dollar
that,
amount on it? Are we gonna put a dollar amount spent, or?
I don't think it's necessarily need to be, I mean, we got, I don't think anybody's gonna buy more than we need just because we need to. You know? I can't imagine what masks cost.
We're not gonna put these away for later use, are we?
About these or something like that.
20,
They're running about 35 cents a mask is some of the prices that Chris has been looking at.
That's,
You know, supply and demand kind of situation, people have kind of taken advantage of the fact that there's a need, so they'll charge accordingly. And so prices have gone up considerably. But I think he's been able to find some at about 35 cents a mask. I think those, right in that neighborhood, but, you know, I think like you said, if we're gonna continue on with this pandemic and continue to try to keep people reasonably safe, and masks are a proven way to reduce those mitigation or improve those mitigation efforts, we should probably do so.
I'll make the motion then that, the, use CARES Act dollars to get, to buy any PPE and safety supplies necessary for any department within the county, and have Chris be the point person for ordering and Candy pay the bill.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we have Chris go ahead and order PPE for personal protective equipment as needed and paid for through the CARES Act dollars, second by Brown. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Another thing that I think was sent out was some correspondence with Dr. Doug Darling, encouraging the county to continue with a mask mandate. I indicated that we haven't had one, but we still support the city and their efforts and encourage the citizens of Ramsey County to continue and with those efforts of mitigating against the COVID virus. We have that correspondence from Dr. Doug Darling. We had one from Annette Groves from Lake Region District Health. I did receive one from Matt Hockey, Superintendent of Schools from Double West Public Schools. I will share that with commissioners. Yes.
Yeah, the health department also, during vaccinations, anybody wishing to get a vaccination has to wear a mask. If they don't have a mask, they get turned away. We had a couple upset people, but, if they don't have a mask, they don't come in.
Yeah.
Well, the city has the mask mandate.
Well, yeah, yes and no. I mean, there are some people who wear masks.
Oh, right.
But,
That's the thing
we
about it.
would push the county to jump on that, and keep it going. It's been proven, and again, masks and social distancing help, with this COVID disease. And we need all the help we can get because we're not getting vaccine very fast. We got a pretty good amount this last time, but for this Thursday, we have a total of 90 doses for 4 counties. I mean, it's I don't know what the holdup is, but we love to see it get ramped up and going, because we're ready. We've sat down with All True Clinic and with CHI, and they are, if they have any extra doses, they're going to bring them to our deal and help us out and provide personnel to help us. So that's a great deal, having those 3 entities work together for our community. But the health district also covers 3 other counties, so, yeah, we're glad that people want to get shots. We took a lot of flack for that, for turning people away, but, that's just the way it is when you don't have enough vaccine.
Right. Well, I think the numbers have really improved, and I think a lot of that goes towards the use of masks and, the community efforts in doing so. As Superintendent Bakke points out in his letter, for the first time since March of 2020, all grades, all students will be in-person learning within the school district. So, that's one of the goals early on that we had set when asking people to use a mask, was to get students back in the classroom and in a safe manner. And I think, mission accomplished, but we haven't completed that task yet. So we want to keep them there. We want to keep our community safe, and hopefully we can do so. The light's at the end of the tunnel. We just need to continue moving towards it and doing the right things to do so. So we will, I think, it would be prudent for us to continue with our mask requirements within our buildings for both employees and visitors of the building. I don't know if there's been an expiration date on that. I don't certainly think so. I know that was one of the things that the city was their mask mandate when they initially passed it wasn't an expiration date on it. It wasn't based on anybody else's mask mandate or anything like that. They just did so in the help of preventing the spread of the COVID virus, and we continue to do so and support them in their efforts, and ask that people do the same throughout the Ramsey County.
Well, we paired up to match the city on the 4th, I think it was the 4th of November, because I went back and looked at Facebook today, and we published it on the 5th, so it was either the 4th or the 5th. And I mean, we matched exactly what the city had at River essentially. It doesn't have any teeth in it, we know that, but it still reiterates that we think it's important. Yeah. And to me, I think it's important that we send a message. We still think it's important, because otherwise there's mixed messages out there. Because high school basketball games, you get in, you got to wear a mask. My son, when he plays basketball, Ed was there on Saturday when we did parkour. They're requiring mask usage to come near the gym. Most businesses are still going to be requiring mask usage. So why would we back off now when we're making progress? Right. All we have to do is ride this thing out for another, hopefully 3, 4, 5 months at the most, get some vaccines in arms. And commend the staff of the public health, our public health and statewide. I saw the other day, we are the best state right now at getting vaccine and getting it in arms of anybody in the nation. I think they set up we're at 65%, and I'm sure, of turning the vaccine around, and obviously there holds them back for second doses and stuff, but we're far better than a lot of places. So we're getting vaccines in arms, which is good. But the longer we can stretch ourselves out, I know it's frustrating, but if we can just provide ourselves a little bit more protection, we can get some vaccines in arms, and then we can get back to hopefully having a normal summer. At least that's my hope. I want to watch baseball.
Yeah.
And our mask mandate, in all honesty, never had, at least a mandate, didn't have an end date on it either. Right. It's just kind of open. open-ended. It's never had a final date or anything like that. It was kind of just a matter of the city. But I mean, we don't have to necessarily pass another one, but I guess I would make the motion that we reiterate and our previous statement from November regarding mask usage and support the city if they continue up with theirs as well.
All right. We have a motion on the table. Is there a second?
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we continue with, whether it be the mask mandate or following the city's, masking policies, for Ramsey County.
And can I ask one question? I thought I heard the city said they were going to continue with theirs, correct?
They are, they had no expiration date on it, and Mayor Johnson indicated that it wasn't on the agenda for discussion tonight. That, if people would like these, they thought they would give people an opportunity, if they so chose to extend it, or may put more teeth to it at some point down the line. They would open that up for discussion as we would too, if we decided to do so. But
Yeah, I think that's for continuity's sake. I think it just makes sense to match up the city for now, and if they decide they want to make a change, then we can have that discussion at that point.
perfect, thank you. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries, thank you. Alan, did you have anything else
I
for?
just came to give our input on that, and, unless you have questions.
I know that in our correspondence, you and I, 290 that, vaccination?
Actually, the actual number, they doubled up on it, was actually 269. But yeah, that was a great day. And we've changed things around a little bit to get the flow a little better. And, so we're ready now. It's a little more vaccine. We're hoping that this week, but next week, it sounds like we're supposed to start increasing, but we'll see. What we've told everybody that calls, and we're getting, the phone is ringing off the wall. And we put out to the radio station and our Facebook and our page that we will put it on the radio. Right now, we still have a few first responders left. We got most of them last time, and we're in the 75 years and older. We've had a lot of questions on, okay, I'm 75 and my wife and my husband is 74 or 73, you know. Well, either wait until they're ready, or you can get it first and they'll come in later. We've taken a lot of heat on that one. And when we had the first responders in, these old folks saw these younger people getting it. Wow. They responded very negatively, you know, but they're on the ambulance, they're on the search and rescue, they're you know, working for this organization or that. Those were the prime people that we wanted to get first. That wasn't our decision, it was provided for us. So once we got that across, they calmed down a little bit. People really wanted to get the shot, even after we told one person that he couldn't get it because he was too young. He snuck around to another door, and I looked at him, he was already having a shot. So we're changing things so that doesn't happen. I didn't expect something like that, so I guess we would have to learn a little bit. But people want their shot. They want to be done with this as fast as they can. And so we encourage that, of course. We don't hold any back. We gave our first, second shots today to some of the first people that got their shots. So, and we're working with All True and CHI, which is a good, really good thing for the community. So we're doing everything we can. Plus, we're keeping testing going.
So all the first shots that you gave out, are they sending out enough second shots?
We will see.
That's my biggest concern of having two shots.
It is a very big concern for us also. We want to keep that going. We were told that they would be there. I since learned from other places that this may not be true, but we will see. The
So do
first
those
one,
people that got the first shot have to retake the first shot if they go over a certain?
no, well, not yet. So if it's just a minimum of 21 and 28 days, it can be farther than that. But we encourage them, we're hoping that they stay in enough to go to hell back and have those shots available. But I guess we will find out. The first bunch we got was okay. So hopefully now that when we have this big bunch come up, we'll have the shots necessary to give them the second dose.
The only reason I asked for the second shot, how are you gonna go about calling the people that got the first shot if you don't got enough for the second shot? How are you gonna choose on that?
That, we'll deal with that when we get there. Again,
To get there.
when we gotta see that they don't show up first, okay?
Hopefully.
Right now, we're dealing with the vaccine we get, and we're getting rid of it, and we don't hold it for very long, especially the Pfizer. It's out the door. Moderna, we have a little more, play with. It's easier to handle, and it's actually quicker. It takes 15 minutes to give a shot for Pfizer, and about 2 minutes for Moderna. So it's all about the prep. But, we're doing it as fast as we can, and, we're getting fantastic help from the National Guard, even on vaccine. So we get that okay. But, so it's going along about as good as we could hope, other than we can't get enough vaccine.
National Guard's helping you?
Yeah. So I don't know for how long, but
The money's there for a while.
yeah, we'll see.
I certainly applaud you and your staff's efforts for not only the vaccinations, but the testing and everything else that you do above and beyond. Throwing a pandemic on your lap, and, thank you.
We appreciate that. This is what public health is all about, this kind of stuff, but the hours that we have to put in, our staff is definitely not used to those kind of hours. And of course, and then the calls at home and when you walk in the grocery store. People are not shy,
They
so.
recognize you?
Well, there's not many people here that don't know me. So, yeah, they definitely let me know what their wishes are, and, nothing out of hand yet, so.
Someday we'll all be able to laugh about it.
Well, let's hope so, huh? We would like that very much, but, yeah. Thanks a lot for your support.
Take care.
Thank you, Alan.
You bet.
Mr. Chairman, just so I'm clear, now, we're still on lockdown, right?
Yes, until we decide to open up the building, we're still gonna operate as we have been for the last few months. And, we haven't wanted to put a date on that, just in case numbers do go the opposite direction. Because I think one of the worst things we could do is go have a teeter-totter and go back and forth with opening, closing kind of thing. I think, I'll have a coffee time with Mr. Arndt on Thursday about tonight's meeting, and we will reiterate the fact that the building remains open by appointment only until further notice. I think that would be prudent for at least the immediate time being. I know there's other businesses that are open, and we'll cross that path down the line, making sure that all the staff and departments have adequate PPE within the building for their access would be one of the main things before we unlock the doors. Right now, I think things are working. Correct, Andy? Rhonda, Carrie, Crystal, things seem to be working. Haven't
heard one complaint from the public, so that usually tells you that everything must be functioning decent. I think part of it too is the courthouse seems to have a lot of walk-through traffic whenever we're open, so You know, probably far more than like the city offices or anything like that even, so we want to keep that to a minimum as best we can, people and just wander around, so.
City office got one window, right?
I believe so, yeah, and we've got hallways upon hallways, all kinds of windows, so we can't control access comparatively, unless we just keep doing by appointment, so.
And providing a lot of public services to the general public that aren't necessarily required or often at the city offices, so. One of the reasons to keep it on lockdown or by appointment only, for a little while longer. Like Alan said, this isn't gonna last forever and, you know, we're getting closer every day, but,
And we do try to pay attention now that the temperature has gotten colder, like we try to watch the front doors if we see someone standing out there. If it's for a different office, we just either walk them down to the breezeway, give that office a call and tell them that they have someone waiting, so.
and that is the good thing about having the breezeway in between the memorial building and the courthouse. It's a place where the public can come and get out of the cold and contact the department if they haven't made arrangements before they arrived. There's a phone down there and they have access to contact the department that they're wishing to visit them. And so they're not standing out in the cold and so we'll continue on that unless there's anybody has any other ideas or anything else on COVID-19? If not, moving on to new business. Close out a Dakota account and transfer the $324.04 to the general fund. We have a motion and a second to close out the blended.
Sorry.
That's okay.
To close out the Sakakawea, that was a federal assessment amount.
Yes, the loan's been paid off for 2 years.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Raffle permit. Motion to approve the raffle permit. Second by Commissioner Brown. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Right.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Letter of support for law enforcement center. This is for their siren project.
Are they intending on the RFPs to go get loans or what?
In the short term, yeah. Some of the counties, I think, are gonna use the loans. I'm not sure which ones are, I'm not sure which ones aren't. And we're waiting for probably this meeting this month, we have a better idea.
Yeah, because I mean, I suppose you haven't talked completely about split of cost yet or anything like that.
I think we did,
We did.
but I'm not quite sure what it was.
I think there's
I thought it was pretty favorable.
a percentage for the counties and the county, all.
That was my UC.
Well, it's gonna be split, it's just a matter of what the split was, and I mean, I'm just looking at it from the aspect of how large the loan's gonna be. Because if the loan is, I just assume from our county's perspective, instead of loaning it out if we have to, we got the dollars back, we'll pay ours and go to the general fund, and just, you know, so that way they won't need $400,000 worth of loan or whatever, they'll need half that much for the counties that need it.
I don't know, remember what meeting it was we talked about.
Yeah.
Our meeting. No, I talked to Candy before the meeting. She couldn't remember it. No, we talked.
I remember visiting about it, yeah.
I thought it was just some over 200 would be the
And we can handle that through the general office dollars.
Like the other three counties, they was back in October, we talked about it. And they wanted to wait to the end of the year and then decide how they were gonna do it. We'll probably have a better idea tomorrow.
Okay. Well, regardless, I'll make the motion that we draft a letter of support for the siren program so that they can get the best rate possible. Have the chairman sign it too.
It's been moved and seconded that we provide a letter of support for the Law Enforcement Center Siren Council. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I think we'll have that information by the next meeting.
Yeah.
I'm not too concerned, I was just curious.
Carrie, would you mind closing that door? A lot of background noise from the hallway. Thank you. Request from Northern Plains Resource Conservation and Development Council. Thank you, Commissioner Wakefield, for bringing this to our attention. Was there a dollar amount put on that, Lucas? Do you recall?
I don't. It came up after the last library board meeting. One of the new library board members is also a representative on this board. And she said after attending her first meeting, she was looking at all of the different participants and said, oh, Ramsey County does not have any membership. When she informed me, I said, well, we should probably rectify that if we're, participating. But I don't know the dollar amount.
We've always paid a membership.
Right.
We just we're allowed a board member or some type of representation on the board if we see fit, I guess. Correct?
We paid the membership.
Yeah, we've been paying it. I believe Paul Overby came in
Yeah.
because he's on that board,
Yeah.
probably 3 or 4 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
He gave us a presentation on it. It sounded really interesting, and I think it's only like $500 a year, $250 or something. It's pretty reasonable.
I think it was 250.
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable.
I can look that up.
What you want here is somebody to be on the board?
We were allowed that. Lucas, do you have any clue how often they meet? Did they say, or?
I think it's quarterly, but don't quote me on that. I'm fairly confident it's quarterly.
They're just looking for a representative. It doesn't have to be one of us.
No. I think it would be reasonable to get, how often they meet and things like that, just so we have an idea. So if we wanted to maybe advertise for it or something, if somebody would like to be our representative, maybe there's, family farm or something like that out there would like to do it.
I'd be willing to find all that information out and bring it to the next commission meeting. And then at that point, we can decide if we're going the route where we're appointing one of ourselves to that board, or if we're going to look for a member from the community. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Perfectly fine, thank you.
Does anybody know what we've done in the past?
We've always paid membership and never had a member on the board.
Or never had anybody?
Yeah, we've been a lot of, but we've just never had. I believe that some of the membership, there are other people from Ramsey County, but they are representing other entities from the county, like the Soil Conservation District, things like that. I know they've done a lot of work with cover crops, things like that, forage type stuff, so it's interesting work we're doing.
We'll put this on the agenda for next meeting, if that's okay, Commissioner Wakefield?
Yep, and I'll get all the relevant information and make sure you all get it before the meeting next time, but we can discuss it then.
Perfect, thank you. Do we want a motion to table that?
So
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to table the discussion on appointment to the, what was that, Northern Plains Resource Conservation and Development Council. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion to table at our next meeting approved. Discussion on interim for state's attorney. Gary, would you mind coming forward to the podium so we can hear?
No
Thank you.
problem. So, I'll wait till I get up here when it's talking as I walk. The law does not require that you appoint an interim while you're doing a fuller interview process. So the assistant state's attorney could technically Continue on has the same powers as the state's attorney.
Okay,
So there's no requirement that it be done.
there's no requirement.
There's no time requirement when you're going through an appointment process. Unless you had an election coming up, then there would be.
So within the interim of you leaving, would the assistant, Marn be, and staff be able to continue on with their current caseload?
Yeah, we're looking through the calendar. We've been going through it for 10, 12-week period out. So anything that would not be able to be handled, we're adjusting with the court on those types of cases. I've reached out to the Nelson County State's Attorney, who is willing to provide some backup if need be. I haven't talked to Jim Wang yet, but I think he would be willing to. And then there's one over in Candu who might be willing to. But I would think that if it got to be longer than before March, like, I think the commission might want to consider it at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if we meet our deadlines and our aggressive interview schedule that we may want to do for applicants, maybe depending on applicants and their availability, maybe March would be an appropriate timeline, but
Right. A lot of stuff to get through, a lot of process, a lot of steps in the process. But yeah, if it became an issue, it's certainly allowed. I mean, it's something the commission could look at doing, appointing an interim type person while the process was going on, not a requirement. Okay?
While we have you here, I would certainly want to thank you for everything you've done for the county over the past several years. You've fulfilled that position very diligently and represented the county very judicious. I guess you've done a very outstanding job, and we hate to see you go, but we're very happy for the opportunity that you have personally and professionally. And we're gonna miss you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate those words. It was a heck of an opportunity that you bestowed on me back in 2017. Certainly has been very rewarding. I have appreciated working with each and every one of you, and I wish you the best in finding a good candidate for the position. Thank you.
Thank you again. Anybody else?
I'm gonna chip in and say I'm angry. Because I was supposed to have an easy portfolio this year, and then you go and do this. I obviously.
I understand. Yeah, I know.
No, nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Thanks for your
Thank
service.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Crystal, did you have anything to add from an HR standpoint for going through the process?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Approve the one or a 3-year contract with the village. I think everybody has a copy of the 1-year contract with the village services and the 3-year. Crystal, you utilize the village quite a bit with some of the HR training that you've done. I know I sat through a video presentation, a Zoom class that you presented, and it was done through somebody through the village. I thought it was done very well. So,
Is there any advantage to doing 3 years instead of 1, like a better price or something like that?
We just lock in that, what,
You lock in that price instead of if there's a price movement year to year?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I think we've been happy with them up to this point, and it's been a good service, so, correct?
How many years have you?
With the village, we've been at the village as long as I've been on the commission.
Yeah.
I know that.
yeah.
So it's been at
I remember
least
we
6 or 7. And it's a pretty reasonable price for the support they give us for the year, so I'll make a motion that we lock in the 3-year contract.
Second.
okay, it's been moved and seconded that we go with the 3-year contract with the village. Any further discussion?
Crystal, you're happy?
Yeah.
Any changes you'd like to see on the contract?
I didn't see, the main thing would be make sure we get our free trainings in there, because
Sure.
it's a big deal, but otherwise, the service they provide has been really good.
Good.
It's the same from,
Yeah, to say it's
the
all.
only thing that changes is how many numbers for, full-time employees. Okay. And we just always keep it at the same, no matter what the fluctuation is, we just keep it. If we have vacancies or not, we just keep it at that number, because you never know when you're gonna fill it.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Visitors and delegations. Anybody online? No? Rhonda Ellery, Director of Mountain Lakes. Anything? Thank you for attending. So,
You get to meet tomorrow.
any other announcements? If not, motion to adjourn.
So.
We are hereby adjourned.
Yeah.